My name is Silvina Paez, and I am a channeler of the Freedom Healing Method. The video you are about to see next is also dubbed into English by artificial intelligence. I am from Argentina. My native language is Spanish, and I have used this tool to share Freedom Healing, the Kryon method, with you. I sincerely wish that you enjoy this spiritual transformation that you are going to feel next. Thank you very much. My name is Silvina Paez, and in today's video, we will be answering a question from one of our listeners about how she can heal her relationship with her sister through the 33 spiritual keys of Kryon. The keys I have here, which I remind you, are a very powerful healing tool. What the keys do is activate in your quantum field the virtues that exist in your soul so that you can receive all the challenges that life presents to you, all the problems we encounter, but that we can resolve them through abundance. The question that Zafira asked us is which spiritual key I need to activate between my sister and me. Zafira has a complicated relationship with her sister, and she left this question in the comments. If you have any relationship that is hurting you, something in your life that is causing you pain, such as your relationship with money, with work, with finding your life mission, with having health problems and not knowing how to resolve them, you can leave them in the comments of this video, and I will respond to you in a future video with a message through the 33 spiritual keys of Kryon about which virtue you need to activate in your quantum field so that what is an issue in your life starts to cease being an issue. How does it work? This method works by you activating this virtue, and that virtue, for example, compassion, happiness, love, whatever it is, from your inner wisdom acts to resolve that issue. And this is unconscious. There is no homework or anything specific to put into practice. It is wonderful because this is an energetic spiritual healing. It has to do with the energy you are holding in your quantum field. So, for Zafira, I am going to draw a spiritual key to see which spiritual key she needs to activate. And I loved it because it is the spiritual key of abundance, of balance. These keys have a question for introspection. They are activated with a prayer that I will leave below this video so that you can also do it. And you, Zafira, who asked the question, when you feel it, also do this prayer. That this phrase says, I allow myself to give and receive in harmony. And here it is super interesting what comes up, because according to the theory, for example, of family constellations, which I love very much and feel are very powerful, it is said that parents give, children take or receive. In peer relationships, for example, in this case between siblings, the relationship must be one of giving and receiving in balance to avoid placing ourselves in a position we shouldn't be in. Now, the theory we have through Kryon in Freedom Healing, which is where the method is channeled from, is that we must always be guided by the outcome, because prior to incarnating, we made pacts with other souls with whom we committed to give and receive. Why? To achieve certain learnings. So, when we are fulfilling the pacts we made with those souls, life flows for us in abundance. When we are violating the pacts we made with those souls, life becomes complicated for us, and it seems like we are rowing in a river of dulce de leche. So, one of the laws, for example, spiritual laws, for those of us who practice spirituality, if we want to be more spiritual, what we need to do is primarily follow the earthly rules. When we follow earthly rules, we are also fulfilling spiritual laws, because according to the 2009 law, what is above is below. According to the law of the Kybalion, as above, so below. So, when we follow earthly rules, life flows much better for us. We live at least with inner peace. When we pay taxes, when we are not stealing, when we live honestly, when we spend obtaining money from jobs that benefit society, when we behave well, when we are not bothering our neighbors or harming others, life flows much better for us than when we insist on doing harm or violating the laws. There is no one on this planet who, by violating the laws, can then sleep peacefully and have life flow well for them in abundance and in harmony with the people they love. So, when we follow earthly laws, it is also a reflection of fulfilling spiritual laws. So, by activating this spiritual key, what will be activated in you, Zafira, and in you who are listening to us as well, the ability to distinguish when you should give and when you should not give, when it is not your place. And one feels that in the soul. But as in Freedom Healing Kryon, we are also told that we have to go to the results. And what we have to focus on is several things. For example, if in your act of giving, in what you are doing, it brings you inner peace first, feeling inner peace means you are doing the right thing. Maybe the immediate result, like saying, oh no, in the end, I think I messed it up. It wasn't. But you will see that in the long term, and now I will give you a personal example, in that which Craig always says, that my life is the manifestation of what is freedom healing. And that's why I have to share the things that happen to me. So the first thing is inner peace. Then it's about having flowing relationships, being surrounded by people you love and for whom you also feel loved. Then another thing is health, that it flows. Health that flows is also important. Financial prosperity, being well economically, that money comes into your life and flows, and that you can also give it with a complete sense, being empowered and not feeling fear in doing so. And the other thing is also being in harmony with the universe around you, like being happy in the job you have, in the home you have, when one is in harmony with spiritual laws and feels satisfied. But the first satisfaction is feeling the soul full. It's wonderful, like stopping to desire certain things, because when we have a full soul, we don't have many desires to fill it with things, buying things or things like that, or with addictions, which we all might have some. So when we fill our soul with something else, for example, I have an example. I was addicted to games on my phone. I loved Ludo. I loved a lot of things until I realized it took up a lot of time, but a lot of time on that. And I decided to change it by buying a Kindle, and I'm reading a lot. And it has done me very, very well. It has completely changed my life. And I want to thank a YouTuber I admire a lot, Franco Piso. I took a public speaking course with him, and the truth is that he is fascinating. Franco, thank you for that public speaking course that completely changed my life, and I am trying to put it into practice here every time I make a video. So if you have those results, in your act of giving, going back, in your act of giving, it is because in your act of giving, you are fulfilling the pacts your soul made before incarnating. If that is not being fulfilled, it is because in your act of giving, you are stepping a little out of line. So let me give you an example. In the act of giving, for example, it is said that parents give and children take. So if in the act of giving something to your parents, I don't know, gifting them a trip, gifting them whatever, you feel your soul is full, money flows to you, you have people around you who love you, you feel loved, you are happy with what you are doing, have health, it is because it was meant for you. If in the act of giving to your parents the same, a trip, a house, a car, whatever, your life starts to fall apart, you can't have a stable relationship, you have problems with your children, work doesn't flow for you, it's terrifying, money slips through your fingers like water. It is because that act of giving, no matter how good a child you are, was not meant for you. And here it is interesting that when one makes changes, when one starts experimenting, I like to experiment with the universe. I say, let's see, I do this to see what happens. The universe responds in a very evident and quick manner. If the universe sends you the answer instantly, you don't have to wait 4 months for the change. Normally it happens in less than 24 hours. That something catches your attention, like saying, wow, this didn't happen to me before. What's up with this, right? What's up with this? It happened to me the other day in the Freedom Healing community. We have a community on a platform called School, where if you want to learn Freedom Healing to use these keys to investigate past lives, what I'm doing is at level 0 at the level. You already learned to investigate. I teach you to investigate past lives, or one of my instructors who are also in the community. I'll leave the details below the video. We activate spiritual keys in the community every week. For example, today I'm doing a spiritual key, and it came out in the abundance of balance for Zafira between her sister and her. But in the community, for example, this week we are working on level of consciousness. 1. Last week, we worked on deserving. So while working on deserving, I was sitting on the bed. It was 9:30 p.m. I was making a purchase on a Chinese app for some cosmetics. I love cosmetics, and I have a partner who also loves to gift them to me. And it was very crazy because I was sitting with my phone placing an order for some makeup that cost $5, $6, $8. It was the Jane app, Shiglab Cosmetics. So I was making that purchase when my partner arrived and said to me, "Love, I brought you a gift." He came with a rival bag and brought me a chocolate. And I opened the bag, and it wasn't a chocolate. It was a lipstick from the more luxury lines, like Christian Dior, and he was gifting it to me. He had seen that lipstick, loved it, and bought it for me. So I found myself with a lipstick worth over $50 in one hand. And on the other hand, I was making a purchase for a lipstick for $3.5.01, something like that. So it's like life put me in that situation, and that's what Freedom Healing does as well, elevating your level of consciousness to see how you are giving to yourself and how you are giving to others. So at that moment, it became very clear to me that I said I was giving myself very little. It's like I have a lack of deservingness. Life through Alexis is telling me, girl, you deserve much more. The work one can do with these keys is wonderful because what we do is become aware of that. So in the act of giving, it's impressive how, when I became aware of that, everything started to flow in a spectacular way. Even finances improved. And for example, this happened to me once. What I was going to tell you is that the first thing it gives you is like inner peace. In the act of giving, I did, or in the act of giving, or in the act of whatever, I went to file a report for harassment, and when I left the police station, the first thing I felt was a spectacular inner peace. Oh, it was a feeling of relief. Then came what I could categorize as a kind of hell, the re-victimization, having to recount it. Even being treated like a prostitute for what had happened to me. No, the report stayed at the police station. It didn't go to the prosecutor's office. Until one day, it was so much. What was happening, how bad I felt. It was going to ask what had happened and ending up in bed. I remember it was because my partner hadn't paid some bills. So I told him, no, I need to take care of myself. So what did I do? I paid all the bills, which in the act of giving and receiving wouldn't be coherent because it was what he had committed to pay for the house we shared. And I said, no, I take care of myself. I pay the bills. I paid the bills, and I felt a sense of empowerment where everything I had been feeling for a month and a half just went away. And from that point on, I can't explain how the relationship with my friends has flowed, who during that month and a half, my friends of many years whom I love, were there for me a lot, friends who really showed up. The relationships that were a little toxic or very toxic, I ended during that month and a half. And the relationships based on love were strengthened. New people appeared in my life. Money started to flow in a way that it hadn't for months. Ideas started to flow. In an instant, I felt the inner peace that I doubted when everything else wasn't flowing. I said, well, did I mess up? Shouldn't I have done it? But why did I feel inner peace? And I got the answer a month and a half later, when the whole healing process took place. That month and a half, everything I could do even improved. I would say that the relationship I am having today with Alexi is one I haven't had in the 10 years we've been together. It's as if everything has flowed in a spectacular way, and it's thanks to all the inner work we are doing with the spiritual keys that I am doing and that we are doing in the community. Alexis doesn't use the keys. He does use them sometimes, which is very funny when he tells me, "Love, I went by your desk, took a key, and so many things happened to me," that he is impressed by how different things happen to him compared to what usually happens. Because that's how these spiritual keys work. They are like a magic wand. It changes vibration of your electromagnetic field, your quantum field, because you change the information you have there. By changing the information you have in your energy, it changes things that happen to you because you attract into your life the information you have in your own field. By changing that information, what we do is change the things we attract into our life. And what is the idea? That you can experience learning through abundance. That is to say, that a learning experience, no matter how complicated or difficult it may be, you can do it smoothly and not like rowing in a river of dulce de leche. So the idea is that, and that's how it flows. That is to say, what happened to me? There are women and men who have also been harassed and abused, and it was hell for me for a month and a half. There are people who have been living that hell for years. Each one experiences it in the way their soul can learn. What we do through the keys of Kryon is to make that learning as loving as possible. So those of us who practice freedom healing in the community have many testimonies from people who tell me it used to be a drama and now it has stopped being a drama. What happened to us? Well, the information in the field changed, so I invite you to say the prayer that I leave below the video. I invite you now to stay and listen to a channeled meditation from Kryon. And I also invite you to join the Freedom Healing community so you can learn to use these keys. I leave you the link so you can also join the school community, which is free. And whenever you want, you can move to the premium community where all the teaching is and participate in live classes via Zoom. See you in the next video. Thank you very much for being here.
Close your eyes and imagine that you are surrounded by light. Focus on your breath and imagine that every time you inhale and exhale, that light, symbolizing the energy of life, enters your whole body, allowing you to become aware of the spiritual being that you are. Feel how the energy of life allows you to become aware that you are an energetic being experiencing an earthly existence to know yourself better, learn, and evolve into a conscious co-creator. Feel peace in your heart and in your whole being. And now, in your mind or out loud, repeat after me. I activate the Christic energy of my soul. Feel how that energy, manifesting as a white and radiant light in the center of your chest, has been activated. Get ready now to activate the spiritual key of balance. This spiritual key activates the ability to know when it is your turn to give and when it is not, as well as when you should receive and when you should not. Does the abundance of balance answer the question, do I allow myself to give and receive in harmony? Now, take a deep, calming breath and gently repeat after me. Dear Higher Self, I humbly and sincerely request you to kindly and compassionately transmute and transform all the memories stored within my soul that are currently limiting and hindering my spiritual key of abundance, prosperity, and balance in the divine and loving Christic energy of my soul. Please activate and fully awaken my original, inherent, and complete Christic DNA, allowing it to flourish and resonate with the highest frequencies of love and light. Thank you very much. It is truly indeed absolutely so. Imagine and feel how by activating this Kryon key, you have been able to align with the universal law of proper compensation. Take another deep breath, and when you feel ready, open your eyes.